When questioned by his own attorney in court, Jay-Z said, and this is a direct quote from the trial transcript, "I've always had problems with the quality of lazy work that was coming from Parlux." He went on to classify their work as, quote, crappy, lazy work. In 2012, Jay-Z launched a fragrance called Gold. 4 years later, it turned into a $67 million lawsuit where he called his own business partners crappy and lazy in open court. This is the story of the most expensive no-show in fragrance history. Let's get into it. So the case was Parlux Fragrances LLC versus Sean Carter. That's Jay-Z's legal name. Filed in New York Supreme Court in 2016. Everything I'm about to tell you comes from public court filings, trial testimony, and the appellate decision. When Jay-Z decided to get into the fragrance game, he partnered with Parlux. Parlux was a major player in celebrity fragrance licensing. They had done deals with Paris Hilton, Rihanna before Fenty, and Jessica Simpson. So they knew how this game worked. Or so they thought. Jay-Z was confident he was in good hands. He worked very closely with Parlux, developing the fragrance, reportedly rejecting over 3,000 names until he decided on Gold. They partnered with Firmenich, one of the top fragrance oil houses in the world, and perfumer Ilias Armanides to create what they called a white fougere. An elaborate launch was planned, with an exclusive at Barney's for 9 days, followed by a nationwide rollout on November 29th, 2014. Funny thing about November 29th, 2014, that was Black Friday. Macy's Herald Square had an interactive liquid gold display that turned passersby into golden avatars. Jay-Z was scheduled to appear on Good Morning America on launch day, Black Friday, aka the biggest shopping day of the year, and Parlux spent millions rebranding that to Gold Friday. But Jay-Z did not show up. In addition to that, there was an in-person appearance scheduled in front of that Macy's window. Jay-Z was expected to do a ribbon cutting or a fan meet and greet, but again, he didn't show up. And here's where it gets messy. Parlux commissioned Jacob the jeweler, which is Jay-Z's personal jeweler, to create a prototype bottle with an 18-karat gold cap valued at $20,000. The plan to have a Gold Friday contest where a fan could win the bottle. But according to Parlux's lawsuit, Jay-Z kept the bottle and refused to promote the contest. Jay-Z's lawyers argued that the bottle was a gift or a design sample and not a promotional tool. Either way, no fan ever won the bottle. At some point in 2015, Parlux released a flanker called Gold Extreme, but by that time they were already prepping their lawsuit. And in 2016, Parlux sued Jay-Z for breaching the licensing deal. The suit claimed he failed to promote the fragrance, and they sought $67 million in damages. Jay-Z then countersued, claiming he was still owed $2.7 million of what Parlux offered him initially, and he asked for $6 million in royalties that he was still owed. Now, Parlux claimed Jay-Z destroyed evidence by deleting emails, and Jay-Z countered that the FBI told him to delete those emails due to hacking concerns. The judge ultimately didn't rule that either side proved bad faith destruction of evidence. And the flanker, Gold Extreme, became a major point of contention in court. Jay-Z's legal team argued that Parlux was releasing cheap flankers without his input or approval to try and recoup their losses, and that he had no obligation to promote a product he didn't approve. Parlux claimed that they were fulfilling their contractual obligation to create new and updated versions of the fragrance, and that Jay-Z refused to approve the final scent or bottle design for Extreme. In fact, in the original summons, Parlux claimed that they attempted several times to reach Jay-Z, but they were blocked every step of the way. Jay-Z wasn't defensive on the stand. He was more like insulting. He mocked the lawyers' little tricks. He called Parlux's work crappy and lazy in open court under oath with reporters in the room.
Like my man Jay-Z said,
this wasn't a carefully worded PR statement. This was Jay-Z saying their product was trash and I'm not pretending otherwise. In the end, the jury rejected both sides. The judge's summary was brutal. You failed to prove your case and they failed to prove their case. You're excused. A total stalemate. But Jay-Z's team knew they had the stronger case on royalties, so they appealed. The decision came back unanimously that, and I quote, the record is clear, Parlux sold licensed products but failed to pay royalties on the sales. The court awarded Jay-Z $4.5 million in unpaid royalties, plus interest. Parlux tried to fight the appellate ruling, but they lost again. With interest accumulated, the final amount Parlux had to pay grew to $6.8 million. So let's get into it. What does a $67 million lawsuit smell like?
Is it Jay-Z?
No.
Because it was discontinued and the subject of a very public legal battle, finding an affordable bottle is not easy. So I went with a sample. Let's give this a spray and see if it really does smell like $6.8 million in unpaid royalties. And we're going to go right on skin as usual. Okay, first impression, this is actually kind of nice. There's like a fruity, kind of citrusy opening. There's some spices underneath. It's warming up. It's fresh and warm at the same time. It smells like what a luxury fragrance should smell like. So here's the tragedy. Parlux created a good fragrance and Firmenich delivered. The problem wasn't the juice, it's everything around it. I would wear this today. I don't know that I would pay $70 for it in 2014 when I could buy Creed or Tom Ford instead. But for a celebrity fragrance, this is legitimately well made. Parlux's marketing was a disaster. Jay-Z didn't show up. But the perfume itself? Not crappy or lazy. It's actually kind of great. That's what makes the whole lawsuit even sadder. Now, if you want to smell like a lawsuit waiting to happen,
Sheen is just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
I've linked some bottles in the description below. There may or may not have been a bottle of Gold Extreme for sale as well. Okay, are you ready for the last twist in this saga? In 2023, Jay-Z renewed the trademark for Gold. I thought, okay, well, maybe he's planning a comeback. Maybe he found some new partners. He's going to bring Gold back the way he wanted it in the beginning. Then I did a little bit more digging. I found a trademark application for Sean Carter for fragrances. It's still pending. Last activity was November 2025. So, what does that mean? I don't think he's planning a comeback. I think he's planning a reboot. He's keeping the Gold trademark active so his competitors can't buy it up. And he's going to start fresh as Sean Carter. He's building a lifestyle brand. He learned his lessons from the last collab, and he's likely very much involved in building this brand. This is probably going to be like Rihanna and Fenty. If this launches in the next year or two, you heard it here first, and I will be back to review it. Now, as for next week, this next story is so big, I needed to dig even deeper. The Sex and the City fragrances, or is it Sex in the City fragrances? We're going to untangle all that next time. See you there.